episode of Vino y la Verdad, hosted by the ladies of Wine and Wisdom 5. Hi, ladies. How are you?
Hola.
Hola. Hello.
How is
Wonderful. How are
everyone?
you?
I'm good, thank you. You guys
Everybody
look
looks so
fabulous today.
gorgeous
I
today.
know. Todo el mundo se bañó.
Wow.
Well, it's springtime, isn't it?
And
Yes.
Officially.
Dora.
Officially, today is the first day of spring. And guys, we have Dora as our guest co-host today.
Hi. Hola, Dora. Hi.
Awesome.
So exciting.
It is exciting. I'm excited for this episode with our guest. It's going to be interesting having someone of his caliber on the show today. So, and Claudia is representing, as always, with her cultural jewelry. It looks fabulous with the blue. So I want to start with spilling the wine. I don't know if you guys have seen this. It's been all over the news lately, and it's a topic that intrigued me because I feel like the four of us can relate to a lot of the pros and cons to this particular topic. So it's been all over the news that now a lot of corporate companies are not going to require for you to have a bachelor's degree in order to get hired.
Yep.
So I'm kind of like on the fence about that, right? One, because I do have a degree, and I feel like if you strive for the education and you go to get your degree, now are you competing against other people that don't have a degree that are going to get paid the same? Or are they going to shortchange these people that don't have degrees and pay them less and have them do more work? So what are your thoughts on that?
That's a tough one because it can really go either way, right?
Yep.
And you don't want to encourage our youth not to further their education because they could possibly get a job with this tech company that we know is basically running a lot of the industry. But at the same time, it's difficult. They put you in a predicament because I feel like no matter what, you're going to work hard, right? But then do you have to work harder if you don't have a degree? Then again, some of us who do have degrees have worked very hard. So we've had that experience too. So it's kind of half one, half a dozen in the other. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just showing the shift where it's shifting. Things are shifting.
Exactly what I was going to say.
Because with COVID and with just the way society is going, things can be done via Zoom, right? So you don't need a lot. You don't need office space. Things are so changing. And this generation has even changed the way they look at education. They're like, why am I going to pay $100,000 and be in $300,000 of debt? That's not necessary. You can become, through your phone, through Instagram. There's so many avenues now that I think it's going to make the education system as a whole look at it, at itself and say, wow, we're not going to have enrollment.
Right.
Because these kids, they're not requiring this, but whatever, a degree. And some jobs, honestly, don't need it. Like, okay, you're a doctor. I'm going to make sure you go get your degree. Right. Or even as an educator, right? You need some type of degree or something, but like mechanic, you don't need anything. It's all on experience. And even when you do get the degree, you really learn on the job. Like
through experience is where you really learn.
Exactly.
And in reality, education can only teach you so much as what the books have.
Right.
But it's not going to teach you what to do when you're in the middle of a chaos in your job. For example, someone like me that holds 3 titles, you never know what the day's going to consist of, what you're going to have to do or not do. So I think that's a by play answer, honestly. I think it's going to be depending on the company, depending on the situation. But I think that's the world we live in now anyway, that if you do have a degree, you do get paid more. And if you don't have a degree, you don't get paid as much. And you're probably working just as hard or harder as the person that has the degree, but yet you're getting paid less because this person has the degree. I don't think that's really going to change. But going to what Claudia said, that's where I think it really is going. That everything has changed. Everything has shifted. Nothing is the way it used to be. And the work industry is realizing it because, like she said, people don't even need office space anymore. Right. Most companies are working hybrid or totally remote. So they're saving all that overhead money on electrical bill, on rents, on equipment, on XY.
Internet, like even.
So why not?
Yeah.
You know, so I really think each thing will be different, right? Each company depending. Yeah. And like you said, if you're a doctor, obviously you need a degree. You're a teacher, obviously you need a degree. You're a lawyer, you obviously need a degree. But so many of the jobs today, depending on obviously the field, you really don't need a degree. You need experience. And no matter how much you study and how many books you read and how much degrees you get, you're not going to get that until you work the field and get the experience. And back to, again, the world we're living in, everything is on social media. So everybody's really trying to do their own thing, start their own business, make their money quick. Nobody's trying to sit through a course or, whatever to get somewhere nowadays. Everybody's just like, I want it now and I'm going to do it now and I'm going to go for it. And if I fail, well, then I'll try again. And that's.
See, but I think that's where the misconception lies. Yeah. Right? Because it's not that fast. And that's where the misconception of social media. And even though you do learn through the experience, going through school teaches you more than just the aspect of the job, right? It teaches you, dedication. It teaches you focus. It teaches you camaraderie. It teaches you teamwork. It teaches you, to set a goal, right? It's not just all of the experiences. And yes, like I've heard a lot of people say, I have a bachelor's in English, but a master's in experience. But I do feel that, I don't know, in my opinion, I feel there's just a different eloquence of someone who has a degree as opposed to someone who doesn't have a degree. And I just feel that when you don't have that little bit of an edge, you have to work so much harder. And I only say that because I lived both aspects of it. And I got my degree later on in life. And once I got my degree, it was a lot easier for me to make more money, right? And I'm just going to use you as an example because I just know, right? Because I did education. I worked in the education system. And as an educator, like if you want to make more money, you have to have more degrees.
Yeah.
Right? You can't, they don't just be like, oh, if you're a family worker, you can just make $100,000 by your end of your tenure. It just doesn't work that way. They require for you to have more of that education. And I think if you start entry level, yes, of course, over time, you will get to that position. But maybe if you had a degree, you wouldn't have started, entry level. Maybe with your degree and experience, you would be like, junior or senior level, closer to that goal. That's just my opinion. That's the way I see the pyramid.
But I also feel like without, having that extended education, we're kind of dumbing down our youth because we're telling them it's okay not to go to school because you can become an influencer.
Right. Yeah.
What are you influencing? What is your knowledge? What do you know?
But that's what I'm saying. That's the world we're living in. It's terrible. But that's the world we're living in.
Yeah.
It's a shift.
Hard.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's, you need to have some type of business knowledge in order to be able to run, even to be an influencer.
Right. To do anything. You gotta have some background in business.
So it's like,
I don't know. Do you really? Because usually some people start with no background in business, but they learn.
But what I mean is knowledge. I don't mean like background, but you got to have some sort of business knowledge, right? Yeah. You cannot just go and say, oh, I'm going to just open the store and I don't know how to run a store.
You got to educate in something. I mean, you're going to do the research.
Right?
Yeah. It's funny because Rodney and I had Maui Wowie, the smoothie business.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't have a business background and we jumped in. I mean, granted, Rodney does have his office, which, maybe there, but
yeah,
you learn real quick. Like you have to manage your money. You have to know how much is going out, how much is coming in, like your cost of goods. So, but you learn.
You gotta have some sort of knowledge.
You have to have
some.
But you did educate yourself though, because you guys took that class thing, right? That thing that.
Well, we took a mentorship course. We had a mentor. and they paired us with someone who owned the Maui Wowie already. Before they're like, before you even say yes to this franchise, go talk to the franchisees, ask them questions, because they also didn't want us to join and then not continue, because they would fail too. They wouldn't make profit. I mean, so it was a process, but yeah, I mean, that is a hard call, but also it's just, I think of my daughter, like the way I learned is not the way she's learning.
No.
You know? So like there has to be some change somewhere. And if that's where it's going, then they need to start educating different in high school and middle school. And they can't do the same shit they're doing.
And that's exactly my other point. They need to change the curriculum, because this English, you know, science, whatever, is not getting you through life. I'm sorry.
No, it's really not.
Is going to get you through life.
If they had some type of, you know, let's do a social media course, class. How do you do this? How do you do a reel? How do you do this to get more followers, to promote your business? They have
let's do investment. Let's do real estate. Let's do financial. Let's do the things that you are going to need in life. How to fucking run your bank account.
How to file your taxes.
How to file your taxes.
How to do your bank.
Absolutely.
Balance your checkbook.
I'm with you 100% on that, Claudia. 100%.
Cheers.
Cheers to, this is really good. I haven't had it in a long time.
Oh, this is good too. I'm drinking wine. For real.
Drinking water.
I mean too. Yeah, because I feel, you know, and not to sound negative, but I feel we're setting them up for failure, because it's not going to be successful for everybody. Even to do makeup, you got a certification. For me to, you know,
you gotta have some knowledge.
You have to have some knowledge. And I feel like they're just making it seem like, you know,
don't need knowledge.
You don't need knowledge. We're gonna hire you, and that's
you're gonna make $1 billion in the first month.
Well, let me tell you, that might be just that must be a coy to say you ain't getting a raise. You never know. Like, you don't have a degree. This is your cap. I mean, I don't know. You never know. You know, to say they're saving money in the long run, I think.
Yeah, of course they're saving money.
Absolutely.
You know, 100%. And then who's gonna train those people? The people that have degrees and have been working, you know, up the ladder all this time. And like Dora and I were talking about the other day, they hire them green so they can pay them less. Now I'm training them, you know, for then over time they can take my position. Porque yo me jodío tanto tiempo to get where I'm at.
Right. That's
or they take what they learn, whatever they feel they need, and they jump ship to the next company.
Right. Yeah. Because they don't stay. They don't have the ethics that we had. Right. Yeah. So
and they know that they're young.
Their time is very limited. It's years max. You're lucky if you get them for 2 years in a job, but it's 1 year and jump into the next one to make double the amount I just made in this job.
And I don't blame them. I don't blame them, because you stay in a job 15 years and you're not making the money that somebody would make, you know, after 2 or 3 years, you know, in one position. So I think I think there's a lot of factors to this conversation, because I just feel like Dora said, you're just dumbing down the youth and wanting them to progress in life and in education. And I think life is just one big ball of education. You know, your life experiences, your problems, your trials and tribulations, everything. And, you know, I don't know.
And there's certain aspects to, I don't know, I feel by having that college experience, whether you go away or you commute every day or however you choose to go to school, it's just a different type of responsibility in life that you learn, and you learn to appreciate and hold on to certain knowledge that you get that you're not going to get through other formative years of your life.
Right.
Yep. I agree.
Definitely.
I totally agree. But we can talk about this for hours because it's such a broad conversation. But guys, don't go anywhere. We will be right back with our next guest at our Pero Porque Why segment. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everyone, to our Pero Porque Why segment. We are super excited about our guest today. We have co-producer of The Wiz on Broadway, writer, actor, singer, dancer, de todo un poco, the amazing Cedric Leiba. Welcome to our show, Cedric.
Yes.
¿Cómo estás? Welcome.
Gracias por tenerme aquí esta noche o este día. I don't know when this is coming out.
De noche.
Creo que ya estamos de noche.
Estamos bebiendo.
Estamos bebiendo, ya.
Sí, mira. Un vinito al día cae bien.
I wasn't sure. I can get a wine real quick. No, pero...
Vete.
Don't get one.
Whatever
you need.
Estamos bien.
So thank you so much for joining us on the show today. We want to talk about everything. But I wanted to start and let you know that I saw you on the panel at my job at Paramount, and I was so taken by your conversations and the way you represent diversity and inclusivity, the way you represent the Latine. So I wanted to know what you take away from that when you're asked to do those appearances and speak on your experience and the your journey on how you've had to break through in order to get where you are today.
Yeah, I feel completely honored that someone would ask me to speak on a panel. It does feel right. It feels like the moment. I've been working really hard for a really long time, and the pandemic was it was difficult and challenging for so many people, but it ended up being a blessing for myself as an artist and for my fiance, Pierre Gonzalez, and us as a couple. And so there's been an overflow of opportunities and doors opening, and it's been an incredible journey since the pandemic. And to be asked to not only speak on diversity and inclusion, but to represent the Latina community, to represent the LGBTQIA community, to represent the Afro Latine, Latinx, Latino, Latina community is an honor, and it's something that I've put a lot of energy and heart and passion into, and it's been a passion, and it's been, I think, my platform to really be a voice to again, not only the LGBTQI community, but specifically the Black Latine, the Black Hispanic, the Black the Black Latino, Latine, Latinx experience, because so often that community, my people, my aunts, my brothers, my sisters, my uncles, mi abuelas, are not represented in media, are not represented in narratives, are not represented in commercials, in print, in books, and in everyday visuals. So I want to be an instrument. I want to be a vessel to help be the source of change, to make sure that those voices, those narratives, those stories, these people are being portrayed in all forms of media.
Woo! I love that. Cheers to that.
I toast.
That was long. My bad.
Salud para ti, Cedric.
Gracias.
There's no time limit here, mi amor.
Un poquito.
Gracias. Pero no, it feels right. I don't know if I answered your question, but it just feels like a deep honor. It feels like a deep mantle. It feels like something that has been put upon my plate in my life, and I'm here for it, because I've experienced it. I've seen how life can treat people from certain communities, and so and I'm seeing a brighter day. I'm seeing more doors opening, and I'm seeing the change, and I'm excited, and I'm so glad I'm still here to see all of these changes that are happening slowly, but are happening.
Amen.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
After, I was reading your bio and I'm like, oh my God, he's done this, he's done this, he's this, he's that. Oh my God. It just keeps going. Super proud, as a Latina, seeing a Latino, seeing someone like me up there. But what I was wondering is which role has allowed you, which role do you think has allowed you to have the most impact on our ever-changing world?
Yeah, so I started singing, right? I started singing in church. Empecé en el coro de niños de San Juan en Puerto Rico. That was my first singing gig.
That's the best place to start, papi, en la iglesia.
Okay.
Right.
La iglesia. cantando en la iglesia, and then out of that came then theater and dance, and so I focused on that for a long time. But I feel like I've always been a producer because someone if someone ever needed something, I'd be like, oh, let me research, or let me ask some friends. So I've always done producer like things in my life.
What does that mean to be a producer?
Yeah, to be a producer is to make stuff happen. And to make things happen, to there's different forms. So there's the producer side where it's about bringing in the money, or giving money to support a project. There's also the producer who is sourcing material, sourcing people, bringing people together. I think a producer really is good at bringing people together and overseeing different jobs, and a component is bringing in the money. That is a major part of producing. But I think for me, I've always told my friend jokingly, I'm like, we should open up uh, a company where if anyone needs something, they can come to us, whether it be, oh, I need a server, I need a singer for this, or I need a accountant, because I've always done that. I've always been like, mira, Dora, yo necesito un plumber que habla español y que es mexicano. I'm like, I got you. Like, I've always been that person, right?
De todo un poco production.
Exactly.
There you go.
De todo un poco.
So I feel like I've always been a producer, but it feels really amazing that now, having a production company, I can actually say it. I am a producer because we produce our own work. We help people produce their projects. Now we're commercial producers. So I do feel that. I was telling Pierre, my fiance, the other day, I'm like, I feel so powerful in this producer position, because I feel like I'm actually seeing things happen, and not only it's blessing me, it's blessing my whole community. It's blessing those around me. Right now we're working on a bunch of projects, but my friend Guadalis del Carmen, she had a show off Broadway called Bees and Honey, and
we have her on in a few weeks.
Oh yeah, so she was on the panel.
Yeah, she was on the panel.
My homie, I love her. So I was an associate choreographer for her piece. I assisted Maite Natalio, who you need to have on too. Dominicana, 2 Broadway shows, Broadway debut as a choreographer. Was had Dance in Ohio, and now she's gonna be choreographer for Suffs that's coming out this spring. But anyway, so we worked with Guadalis in her piece, and she approached Pierre and I late winter or late fall, early winter. Hey, I have this piece. I would like you to read it. And Pierre and I read it, and we were like, what can we do? And so recently we had a couple calls and emails, and I was able to score or have someone on hold that's like a major star in Puerto Rico, and that was on her list of dream cast. And I reached out to that person, and they said, yes, I'm there. Like,
nice.
Like, that feels amazing.
It does
happen. You made it happen.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it does.
Una bendición, and I just feel like I've everyone is like on the come up. And now so many of my friends that we were all on the grind and struggling, whatever, are like in these amazing places in their careers, and I could reach out to them like back in the day setting, be like, mira, amigo, you help me out, I'll throw a couple dollars,
That's
like, yeah. But because of the connection and the friendship and the level of the work and the level of the pride that they know I have in the work, they've said yes. So there's a lot of that happening that feels so serendipitous, that feels like it's ancestral, that feels like a bendición de los cielos, and it feels aligned, and Pierre and I keep getting these opportunities that are being thrown at us. There's a couple projects I can't mention yet, but I will soon, that like we're like, ¿qué está pasando?
¿Tú quieres saber que tú comenzaste en la iglesia? You're anointed by Papa Dios.
Well, there we go.
Papa Dios on you, baby.
And you've put your work in. Work in. And that's the actual final word.
Right.
You put the work in.
You put the work in.
Now you're gonna see the fruits of all your labor.
Yeah. You're serving your purpose.
Right.
Yeah.
And like you're saying to us, you put pride into it. So when you put your pride into what you do, it's a good feeling because you were just telling us, I got excited for you. You know, it's like, oh my God, that's so great.
You're like, Hipok la India. Yes, that's what it's about. I'm like, yeah,
yeah. No, but
happen.
it's all those things you mentioned. I also think it's being intentional.
Yeah.
You know, I love Mama Oprah, Titi Oprah.
Yeah. Yes.
Being intentional with the work. What do you want to do? What is the goal?
Right.
And so I think for Pierre and I, it's everything is about honoring our ancestors, honoring our families, honoring Puerto Rico, honoring República Dominicana, honoring God, honoring our parents, our abuelas. You know, it's all about bringing pride to our people. And I think that's literally our drive. That's what drives us every single day.
That's so amazing.
And I think because of that, I think the doors are just opening left and right, and we're ready.
The doors, the windows, the car, sunroof.
Okay.
I'm so excited for you. I'm excited to see your continuous journey. I mean, I'm floored by everything that you've accomplished thus far. I'm just can't wait to sit by the window and just watch.
No, thank you, and it just to recap, I think being a producer, it's very impactful, and we're getting into rooms that people like us were never in, haven't been in a while, or I think 2% of Broadway producers are Latina. 2%.
Wow.
Awesome.
It's like you're sitting at the table.
Yeah.
Like I'm sitting at the table, and because I'm sitting at the table, others feel like they could sit at the table.
You're making way. You're making way for others.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And a lot of it too is just I'm doing this for little Seti. They used to call me Baby Boy in Puerto Rico. I'm doing it for Baby Boy because Baby Boy didn't see it. Baby Boy couldn't believe it because he didn't see it.
Yeah.
You know, and it's so much of I thank God for my will to fight and to keep going, because it's been hard.
It's not easy.
It's not easy, and but it's happening, and I'm ready, and let's go. Like I'm excited and just so grateful.
That's exciting.
So my question to you was, at what age did you start or know that, you know, you wanted to be in this world, right?
Yeah.
Whether it was the acting, whether it was the dancing, whether it was the singing. I mean, I know you said you started in church, but at what age did you really were like, this is really my calling? Like, this is what I want to do.
Yeah. So it's different levels or different moments, but I think the very first moment that I was like, oh, I have to something special was in Puerto Rico. I want to say I was in second grade. I was in a school called Episcopal Cathedral School. It was in Santurce. And I had a teacher. Her name is Miss Luciano, R.I.P., rest in peace, Miss Luciano. And she believed in me. She was like, you have something special. You're talented. She entered me in the school talent show that was strictly just for the high school kids. So I went to a school that was like kinder to 12th. And she had me be the closing act. Wow. And I sang The Greatest Love of All.
I love that song. It's one of my favorites.
That's a big song.
Oh, I know. You just gave me goosebumps.
That's a big song.
That's a big song for a second grade.
Yes. You know, I was a soprano. I had a really high voice. But I closed out the talent show. I was in second grade. And the reaction from the people, the feeling of like, I'm doing something that's like out of this body.
Yeah.
Really special. And so that's when I knew I was like, oh, this is something special, and I want to continue to do it. But I also didn't put that much pressure on it. I didn't have a stage mom, thank God. I didn't have people pressuring me. So after that, I did a couple other talent shows. I auditioned for Menudo.
Give me rock. Give me rock. Give me rock.
Yes.
How was that experience?
Yeah, so that was like 90s. And then I left Puerto Rico, and then when I moved to Deltona, Florida, so we left Puerto Rico when I was 12. When I moved to Deltona, Florida, I signed up for chorus. Galaxy Middle School in Deltona, and my choir teacher, Sharon Wade, otra que was like, tú tienes algo especial. You have something special. And boom, she gave me solos. She let me choreograph. And
Nice.
she made me feel like a star. And then I kept having moments like that. And then yeah, and then what church did was it just I just felt so much empathy and power, and not, the word is not power, but just I felt how important what my talent, my gift was to helping people heal or get closer to source or get closer to healing or get closer.
Spiritual.
Yeah, and I was like,
Yes.
ooh, so that the church component kind of gave me something else. And then yeah, and I just that's so it started when I was a kid in PR, and my all my family will say that I sang before I spoke.
I love it.
So it started in PR at a very early age, and I think acting kind of just came with singing, and then
Right.
dancing came with musical theater, and then and then just things kept on developing.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, cheers to you, man.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Salud.
Salud.
Cheers.
Yes.
I'm drinking water.
Yeah, no.
Wine today.
No judgment.
Maybe tomorrow.
Yes. Yes. I did have some wine before I came to this.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay, all right, you're excused.
So you got a
A
little bit before
poquito,
you started. Okay.
It was
Yeah,
my,
he got a head start. He had a head start.
I was like, I think I'm supposed to drink during this podcast. I'm not sure.
Yes, it's called wine and
if you
wisdom
want
for a
to.
reason.
Yeah. My cousin's 40th, or it is my cousin's 40th birthday.
Happy birthday.
Oh, happy birthday to your cousin. Welcome to the fourth floor.
It's amazing.
And he opened up a bottle from Napa Valley, $120 bottle.
Ooh, nice.
It was
You
nice.
only need a little bit.
Yeah. No,
That's it.
It felt expensive. It tasted expensive.
Okay.
It tasted expensive.
A little bit is good.
Yes. Yeah.
So tell me, Cedric, I have a question for you. Of all the hats that you wear, what has been your favorite hat? And which production has been your favorite wearing that hat?
That's a hard one.
That's a good one.
A good one and a hard one. Yeah, I think I have a couple of favorites. I mean, I think at the end of the day, I love to perform. I love to tell a story, and I think again bringing the church back in, it's I think I'm in theater because I see how transformative theater can be for people and how it could also help people to heal, but also it's escapism, a lot of times. So I love I do I love being a part of works that really transform people's lives. I have done a couple of shows where it's like, oh, people go there to laugh and much thought isn't put into the story, but I really love being a part of things that are going to be impactful and make a difference. And I think the first thing that came to mind was Rent. I did the tour of Rent. I did the national tour. I did the 10th anniversary tour, and that's when the movie came out. And I think while I was in it, I didn't realize what a big deal it was.
Right. Okay.
I did it. What they call a rent head. Those are people that that love.
Yeah.
And I think that was a good thing because there wasn't a lot of pressure auditioning for it. And when I booked it, I was happy to book a job, but the stakes weren't that high.
Right.
And I think when I saw the show for the first time, I saw myself as a Latino man, but also as a gay man. I saw the story of Angel and Collins together, and I was like, wow. And I remember seeing it right before I went on tour, and I'm like, I get why people love it. And I was a mess. And it's also a story about community and chosen family, right? And the message is so beautiful. So I think touring with that show really shifted things for me as an artist, that I had no idea was going to shift for me. And so I think that's up there. And I did a show in Paris. Yeah, it was called Carmen. Yeah, so it's the opera Carmen by George Bizet. It was turned into a musical set in Cuba. And I flew all the way to Paris to do this show. Half of the company was from New York, and the other half was from Cuba.
Oh,
Wow.
wow.
That was
Amazing.
so cool,
Powerful.
powerful. And our
Yeah.
lead was Cubana, and
Yeah.
Wow.
and Luna. Her name is Luna, and I got to work with Albita. Albita is an amazing salsera from
Yes, she is. She's
Cuba.
amazing.
Amazing, and she was
Mhm.
both, and I got to play like a lead, and
Wow.
so I'm in Paris like doing just experiencing the Broadway of Paris.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
had, I had to get there an hour early to sit and do hair and
And
makeup.
take it all in.
You know,
Hair.
take it all in, but also to do hair and makeup. Like people were like doing my hair, doing my makeup, and in the States, like we kind of do our own stuff. We do our own
Right.
unless it's specific,
Yeah.
but
Mm-hmm.
we do our own makeup, we do our hair. But it was so cool to be treated like a superstar in a foreign country.
Right.
Yeah.
In a
Do a
beautiful foreign country.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
beautiful foreign
Beautiful.
country, and then to do this piece that was set in Cuba en español. The whole show was in español,
Oh,
Oh, that's
and
amazing.
just celebrating this beautiful country and these beautiful Cuban artists.
mhm.
And it was an epic moment in my career. I still think the highlight of my career.
I
Um,
love that.
and it, it shifted things for me in the sense of allow allowing me to believe that I can be in a place of excellence. I think prior to that, it was a couple cute little moments here and there, but it was like constant struggle, and
Right.
felt like I had arrived, and it felt right, and it was being with my people, speaking my tongue. And then what the beautiful thing that came out of Paris was I met Pierre while I was in Paris.
So that's
Hey,
where you met
Pierre!
Pierre.
Hey, Pierre!
Wonderful. Yes. One of the most
Welcome,
romantic
Pierre.
cities. Good for
Yeah, Pierre Jean
you.
Gonzalez, Dominicano
Welcome, Pierre.
Puertorriqueño with a French name. Hilarious. And then I met
I
his
love
A
it.
lot of
Hilarious.
Dominicans have French names.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. So we met while I was doing the show in Paris, and we would FaceTime. He was here in New York, and yeah, I met my mi abuela Herminia passed away right before the gig.
Wow.
And I always say, you know, I feel like she gifted me Pierre.
She
You know,
shined the light on you.
yeah, because I think her love was so unconditional. You know,
Yeah.
amor de las abuelas.
Yeah.
Abuelitas
Yeah.
will always.
No, it's
There's
Alcahueta.
nothing like it.
Yeah,
There's nothing like
alcahueta for
it.
sure,
like it,
100%.
Yeah.
and it's unconditional, and
It's a different love.
it's a different love. And so
Yeah.
and I don't know if I was a favorite, but
You probably were.
You were.
no, but
We won't tell
We
your
won't tell
family.
nobody. We won't tell nobody.
pero ella era bien cristiana. She prayed for 2 hours every single day on her knees.
Mhm.
And so
Mm-hmm.
I was the one that went to church. I was the one that was singing in the church, so she loved that.
Mhm.
Of course.
Pero ella falleció right before I went to Paris, and then
Wow.
a month later I met Pierre, and we've been together since. It's gonna be 8 years this spring,
Yes.
and I think that,
Congrats. That's
Congratulations.
beautiful.
Yay.
Yeah.
yeah, and his love and our partnership has been so life-changing and so edifying, and just it's just truly just shifted and changed my whole career and life, and the way I see life and the way I love, um and he's brought so much positivity, and we're so amazing together, and there's ups and downs,
Of
but
course.
I
Of
just
course.
yeah, but I'm just proud of what we've been able to accomplish as professionals, but also as a couple,
Mm-hmm.
because we're both artists. We're both out here doing it, and he was on the road with Hamilton for a minute, and he just got home. He just came back home.
Love
So
it.
we've been long distance for a while, and but again, it's been such a beautiful and grounding and just inspiring experience to be together, because it's so many opportunities and doors, and um, amazing things have happened since, since the pandemic, but since being together, honestly.
I'm loving how
That's great.
you're
Great.
getting
I love
lost in
that.
your
I
thoughts,
love it.
just
I
trying
love
to
it.
explain the
Yeah,
book.
I
Ese amor está
Yeah.
I
profundo.
love it.
Yeah, I saw a little reminiscing
Cheers
there.
to
Yeah, it's
love.
like,
Cheers
I'm
to
lost in your
love.
thoughts. I love it. Cheers
Yes,
to you.
love, ladies.
love. Yeah, it's
So
beautiful.
before we wrap up,
Yeah.
we can't let you go without talking about The Wiz.
Yes.
So I've been a fan of The Wiz since the original with Diana Ross and Michael Jackson, and then again on Broadway. What has it been like for you to work with these iconic people, bringing The Wiz, such an iconic show, back onto Broadway with someone like Deborah Cox and all the amazing talent?
Yeah.
All the promo that's been on TV. I've been like watching. I can't wait for it to start on the 29th. So you got to tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah. So The Wiz.
Keep on down the road.
Yeah. This opportunity came to us this summer, and again, another thing that just dropped into our laps, and we said yes. And it's been such a fun and uh, enlightening journey, because this is our first commercial producing experience. So we went to the opening in Baltimore and didn't know what to expect. You sign up for something, you hope for the best, you wish for the best. Y yo no paré de llorar. I was crying the whole time. I was a hot mess the whole
Pero porque why?
because
It's a lot of emotion.
it's
Your work.
it's just
Yeah.
it's beautiful Black excellence, and it's authentic, and these kids are singing, and the hearts, everything is on that stage. And I think I was so emotional because Nichelle Lewis, who plays Dorothy, I couldn't stop to think, like, her whole world is gonna change.
Yeah.
I mean, it has
Her life is gonna change.
Her whole life is gonna change. This is a Star is Born moment. And I was so emotional for her because she is beautiful in the role. She is singing her face, and she is supported by these giants and these greats, and it felt like church. It felt like home. I know that's corny because one of the songs is home.
No,
but
I totally get it.
Yeah.
Felt right, and it gave you all of those tingly feelings, and I couldn't stop crying, also because I'm like, I can't believe this is not part of my life. I will always be attached to this revival.
Yeah.
And I was just surrounded by, in Baltimore when it opened, I was in a room full of POC, Black and brown people who saw themselves, who were rejoicing, who were doing standing ovations, and felt seen and felt validated, and left there feeling like my life matters, my story matters, my ancestors' story mattered, my family's stories matter, because we saw it on stage, we saw it beautifully portrayed and beautifully sung, and it's funny, and it's all the things, but it's overwhelmingly beautiful and
emotional.
Yeah.
Yo no podía parar de llorar, and then I saw it again in DC, same thing. I was like, I was a mess, and I'm like, this is
That's beautiful.
It's beautiful.
I think that's amazing.
Yeah, but it's, I thank God for my dad, because my dad really always exposed us to Black culture. I'm a proud Black Puerto Rican, pero soy puertorriqueño, pero because papi se creó negro in the Bronx, he always, he looked like a Black man. He is a Black man.
Right.
So, he was also adopted by the African American culture. So I was exposed to a lot of that growing up. So I always felt connected to African American music and gospel music, and we saw every Eddie Murphy, anything growing up. You know, we listened to Motown, so I felt very much seen in that space, and I was really excited for my African American brothers and sisters to have this moment in theater history and have this moment with this show that is unapologetically Black.
I
And
love it.
Beautiful.
Love
I
that.
love it. Cheers to you for being part of that movement.
Yes.
yeah,
Salud.
Yes.
salud. No, and the Dorothy, Lion, Tin Man, and the Scarecrow. These are all. This is all like quote unquote new talent, and they're
Yeah.
all lives are gonna change after this.
Yeah. I saw them on the interview in Tamron Hall, and they did a small piece, and they were amazing.
Yeah,
Amazing.
stars, all of them, and they all
Yeah.
shine brightly and beautifully on that stage.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Amazing.
So nice.
Well, I'm so happy for you. We are so honored that you took the time to join us today. This has been an experience
Yes.
for
Yes, it
us,
has
This
been.
I
is
have to
beautiful.
say.
yeah.
I
We
have one
wish
more
you.
question though before we go.
Okay, let's go.
What is your message to somebody that's starting now?
Yeah.
In your path?
Yeah, I think the biggest message that I often say is don't reach up, reach out. You know, I think a lot of us,
Mm-hmm.
when creating things or when dreaming the dreams, want to reach for the best of the best of the best of the best of the best, and that's good to set goals and dreams, but you know, reach out to your friends, reach out to those who are in the shoes that you want to be in, or in the world or departments you want to be in, and reach out and ask for help, ask for collaborations. It takes a village. I'm here because so many people supported me along the way and have been there for me. So reach out, ask for help, don't give up. Keep dreaming, keep praying, keep believing, keep manifesting, keep vision boarding.
Yes.
Yeah.
All those things.
All of that works.
Yeah.
It does work. All of that works.
I believe in all of that.
Yeah, and positivity. You know, even when it feels corny, it doesn't feel right. Like it shifting into the positive really does it makes it all better. I mean, it not makes it all better, but it makes it all possible and manageable.
Yeah, it makes a difference.
It makes
to manage the difficult aspects of it.
Yeah.
And you know, and surround yourself with people who want to see you win. Period.
Yes, that I think is number one. You have to
100%
surround yourself with the same energy.
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely.
That shifts. Yeah.
Definitely. Thank you so much. I hope you come back again, when you're big and famous.
Yeah. Listen.
He's already big and famous.
Yeah.
I know, like he's already big and famous, but like bigger famous.
Yeah. No, I'm famous. I'm famous on Facebook. No.
You famous. You famous.
All right, so guys, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with our final remarks. We'll be right back.
Welcome back, ladies. We are here for our final remarks. Tell me, so what did you think about tonight's show?
I loved it. He was amazing. Our guest was so great. I love our guest.
Besides being handsome, because he's a handsome.
Yes.
Oh
he's
my
a cutie
God.
patootie.
His heart, like I kept getting his vibes. Like, oh my God, he was
energy
so
is pure.
Yes.
Pure and just
that's what it is.
so genuine.
Yes.
Very genuine.
Agreed.
And it is coming out in his work. It's coming out. See that in his labor, the fruits of his labor.
Yeah.
I feel like he's cultivating butterflies. All the caterpillars that he's cultivating are turning into magnificent butterflies for him.
He's doing amazing things
to him on his journey. Yeah.
And I love how they're grounded in God.
Yes.
You know, like that's the source and like his heritage and like ancestors.
Yeah.
I love that he's all about representing where he came from, what he's been taught, growing up, implementing it in his work and opening doors for others too.
That's what I was going to say. Opening the way for so many others.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. That's so amazing.
Yeah.
And that he wants to see others there. It's not about just him making the way. He wants others to make the way.
And to win, he wants his and be represented.
Yeah,
definitely.
It hit when he said, "Don't go up, go out."
Yes,
yeah.
That's
You know,
the
go
truth.
out.
People want to go all the way to the top
Yeah.
right away. It doesn't work
Yeah.
that way. It
Do
takes
it by
work.
yourself.
It takes work.
Yeah.
It takes a team.
Yeah.
It takes.
But I've always
people to
said I don't
build.
want to go up by myself. I want to bring those with me.
Right.
You know, I want everybody to win.
Yeah.
It's not just like, you know, success is great, but success can be very lonely too.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. You're
You
right.
know, so that hit when he was like, "Don't go up, go out."
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's gonna stay in my mind now, like forever. Like that was. I think he's amazing. His energy, his talent.
It's great.
You know, we're gonna see him at the Oscars one day.
I hope
definitely.
So.
Definitely.
That would be great.
Yeah, that was
and good eye candy. So.
Yeah, definitely awesome. I loved it. I loved him. He was great. But guys, thank you so much for watching our show. Tune in next week where we have graphic designer, illustrator, comic book artist Mike Laricchia.
Mike is an award-winning publisher and has published several titles, including Black Mane, The Death of Black Mane, and The Feared Self. Join us on Wednesday as we explore further into his journey and discuss his upcoming projects.
And don't forget, you could tune in and listen to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, and Google Podcasts, and follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok at Wine and Wisdom 5. And now you can check us out on BronxNet TV, channel 68, on the first Wednesday of every month at 5 p.m.
Whoop, whoop.
Y oye, as always, don't forget ever to sip some wine and share a little wisdom. See you next time. Ciao.
Ciao. Bye.